My beloved child, listen closely. This is not a random moment, and this is not a message meant for the crowd. What is unfolding right now has been written with your name on it. On today, a spiritual warning was sealed concerning your family. And tonight, heaven has opened up for you to hear things that other people were never meant to hear. Time is moving, so I'm speaking with urgency. 3 angels have been watching over your household, listening in on conversations, patterns, and quiet struggles that no one else can hear. They weren't sent to scare you, but to wake you up. One of them tells the truth. One brings protection, and the other brings instruction. Archangel Michael, who has been named your defender this season, stands above them. You may have recently felt heavy, like something outside of yourself was trying to break your peace. I didn't make that up. That was a signal to be careful. In your family, some cycles keep happening and are quietly passed down from one generation to the next. Heaven has chosen you to be the end of the cycle. Just you, because you can hear it and not turn it down. This message is only for you. There is something hidden that the first angel talks about. They weren't hidden from God, but they were hidden from each other. Spiritual cracks have been caused by unspoken intentions, unresolved issues, and omitted truths in order to maintain peace. Cracks like these don't mean the end, but they do need to be fixed. If you don't pay attention to them any longer, confusion will grow where clarity should be. Timing is discussed by the second angel. Today wasn't just picked at random. It marks a turning point, a line that separates what was okay to do before from what will not be allowed anymore. From now on, there will be different spiritual rules for your family. What was there before will now come to the surface quickly. Things that used to take years to come out will now come out in seconds. When things start to move faster, don't freak out. Loss does not mean speed. Intervention requires speed. The driving force behind this change is Archangel Michael. His presence tells us that protection has already been set off. No harm can come into contact with the line God has set up around your family. Even if you have to have hard conversations or call out bad behavior, you are not being attacked. Right now, you are in alignment. This is what the third angel says to you. Not to your parents, siblings, or people who came before you, but to yourself. You were picked because you are ready to see what other people won't. You really feel. Even if you can't explain it, you question patterns and can tell when something is wrong. It's not weakness to be sensitive like that. It's discernment. You are being asked by heaven to stop taking on responsibility that was never yours right now. There were loads you took on out of love, fear, and the fact that no one else would. There is a release in this warning, though. You're not supposed to fix everyone. You should stand in the truth so that the truth can fix things. In the next few days, pay close attention to sudden insights. There is finally a comment that makes sense. Clarity returns to a memory. The situation is no longer unclear and seems clear. Because you listened early, these are signs that the warning is coming slowly rather than with force. One woman who is linked to your family energy may be very important in what is about to come out. Neither betrayal nor destruction are meant by this. Clarity is what it is. Truth is brought into the light to heal what secrecy has hurt, not to shame. Avoid confrontations based on emotion. Watch with wisdom. You don't even have to say anything for Archangel Michael to guide it. When led, silence can be just as powerful as action. You are spiritually aware, which is why this message found you. As long as you care, heaven will see it. Even if you're tired, have doubts, or don't understand why you care so much. At first, what comes next won't seem very exciting. Small changes, new boundaries, and a sudden calm where action used to live are what it will look like. These are not random events. They are confirmations. You're safe. Your family is being watched over. And this warning isn't about losing anything. It's about making a correction before something important is lost. To stay open and grounded, trust that what is being shown with love. Dear soul, lean in and listen with your spirit. What's happening now is meant to calm your heart. Heaven did not back down after the warning was written. It moved toward us. There are changes going on around your family, and you may have already picked them up in small ways. A calm that doesn't feel right. A tension without power over you. In this moment, divine order is being restored. Archangel Michael is not far away at this time, not with noise or fear, but with authority and peace. He stands at the entrance to your household. Boundaries are being enforced when heaven assigns force him. Things that used to cross lines without being caught will now be caught right away. They don't want you to fight this battle with yelling or being emotionally worn out. You should stay still and get witness protection while moving. Your awareness has become more acute recently for a reason. You are getting a better sense of motives and patterns, and you are less confused by mixed signals. This clarity was meant to be there. God is clearing the fog away so you can see clearly and act without fear. What you see now is not meant to scare you, but to set you free. A lot of people in your family may not want to make this change because they were used to avoiding it. When the truth comes out, it often shakes up things that were stable in silence. Do not think that resistance means you failed. It's clear that something is going on when there is resistance. When light comes into a room, you can see dust. That lack of visibility is not the issue. The light is the answer. You might be perplexed as to why you feel both peace and urgency. Protection is the key to peace. When it comes to urgency, timing is everything. Today was the day that heaven decided to move faster than ever. Because you were willing to listen, some things didn't happen. The direction of your family story has changed just by that. Your words are also being watched by Archangel Michael. Being led to talk less and watch more is an example of wisdom. Right now, being quiet is not passive. It's a move. You are being taught when to move and when to wait, so that what you say is useful and what you don't say is harmful. Make your prayers easy. You do not need to use perfect English. Say how you feel. As for clarity, ask. Ask for peace. Obtain protection by asking. Sincerity moves heaven more quickly than wisdom. Because partnership increases power. The angels who have been assigned to your family are waiting for your voice rather than for permission. Don't keep this message to yourself if it hits you. Mark the message with a like on this video. Comment to anchor this word in your life and share it with someone who might need reassurance. I want you to make your first declaration right now. Type Amen in the comments. If you think you are ready to stand up for the truth and release burdens that were never yours. Let this be your spiritual agreement. It's a simple but powerful way to say, I hear you and I agree. Your Amen is a faith seed planted right now. People who are still looking for answers will be able to hear these warnings and protections if you subscribe and support this channel. But subscribing is more than just following someone. It's a spiritual alignment. The prophetic promise being released through this ministry is connected to you when you click the subscribe button. You are putting yourself in a place where revelation is always coming at you. so you won't miss the next lesson, warning, or blessing that heaven has planned for your family. It's a promise to stay connected to the source of your alignment. If you feel led, join the membership. Staying connected keeps you in tune with what heaven is letting go of this season. Also, there is a renewal going on inside of you. I feel less guilty than I used to. There are fewer old fears now. From now on, you know that you were never meant to carry other people's emotional weight. Love doesn't need you to erase yourself. God never told you to disappear so other people could be happy. Over the next few days, keep an eye out for small confirmations. A conversation that ends more easily than planned. A situation that ends without any fighting. An ease of mind where tension used to be. There are signs like these that protection is working and the warning is sending a clear message. Don't move too quickly. God's timing is already ahead of plan. Now the most important thing is that you stay grounded, healthy. Take a break when you need to. Keep your spiritual senses sharp without becoming too aware. Don't worry about what you can't see or control. Archangel Michael and the other angels are taking care of it. Hold on, because what comes next will bring you even more understanding, and you'll be glad you stayed present for it. Choose one. Take this in with a steady heart, because this message is more than just awareness. What started out as a warning is now a separation between what was okay and what is too far gone to be okay. Heaven isn't letting anyone shame your family. It looks like heaven is setting up your family for protection that will last longer than this season. Archangel Michael has not only been watching over the entrance, but also the foundation. During times of fear, survival, or silence, some spiritual structures were built. They were productive back then, but they can't stop what God is about to release right now. This explains why some beliefs, habits, and emotion-related actions feel bad lately. You've grown past what used to keep you safe. In stages, a certain weight is being lifted from your spirit. Now comes authority. First there was awareness, then there was peace. You're starting to understand that standing in your truth doesn't need permission. You don't have to agree with God to follow Him. You don't have to tell people about discernment if they aren't ready to hear it. The angels that were sent to help your family are changing their jobs. One who used to shield is now turning things around. Someone who used to warn is now confirming. To ensure that nothing obstructs this transition, Archangel Michael remains constant. It's because of a higher level of trust that heaven changes the assignments. A lot of the time, you might feel emotional for no clear reason. This isn't being weak. Here's the release. Silently answered old prayers. Tears are no longer hindrances but rather doorways. Don't judge them as they come and go. Healing doesn't always make a big noise. Keep in mind sudden clarity about things that happened in the past. What used to stump you might now seem clear. It's not meant to open up old wounds again, but to close them properly. Knowing the truth brings closure, and peace comes from closure. Both inside and outside of you, God is restoring order. Restraint is another lesson that is being taught. The expression of every truth is not always required. Some truths are like seeds that need to be planted at the right time. In order for your words to protect rather than provoke, Archangel Michael is assisting you in discerning timing. Being wise means knowing when to be quiet and let the silence speak for itself. Your boundaries are getting stronger this season. When you say no, you'll feel less guilty, less obligated to fix things, and less responsible for things you didn't control. We call this alignment. When God makes boundaries stricter, it's not to keep you away, but to protect what's important. Watch how quickly peace comes back after things that used to drain you. Divine covering is evidenced by that. Early on, the warning did its job, letting the correction happen slowly. This is mercy at work. You're not behind schedule. You're not behind. When this message reached you, you were exactly where heaven intended you to be. If this feels like a message to your spirit, type, "I received the warning" in the comments. The lesson code 1447 was just released. Now, I want you to make another declaration if you feel a deeper stirring, a call to go beyond just hearing about this shift and fully accepting it. My family is under divine order. Write in the comments. And then tell your household this. This isn't just a wish for peace. You're saying that alignment has begun. Heaven recognizes words spoken in faith, and this is a statement of authority. Now pay close attention to this. The things you are getting are not meant to end with you. This message is for people who are feeling the fire of obedience right now. Someone chose to sow this message, so it gets spread. It gets around because light moves from one heart to another. The Bible says that the Lord gives seed to the sower and bread to the eater. And He is talking to you directly tonight. I'm not asking you to join me for this moment as a gift, but as a prophetic response. You are about to enter your divine future. Remember that this message does not end with you. People can use your breakthrough to get where they need to go. Through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our Ko-fi community, you can help this mission. By doing so, you are sowing into the awakening, deliverance, and restoration of souls who are still trapped in darkness. This is not poetry when Jesus says, "Give, and heaven will open over you." Every seed you plant turns into oil for your destiny, fire for your calling, and safety for your family. Now is your time, my child. Have faith, and as you do, watch God multiply what you let go of. What you thought was a quiet knowing is now a settled sense of confidence. You lose your fear at this point, and your faith becomes strong. It's not that the warning was meant to keep you on edge all the time. It was meant to lead you to calm authority. From defense to reinforcement, Archangel Michael is now. This means that what was previously safe is now being fortified. It's like rebuilding walls that are stronger, taller, and smarter than they were before. The enemy doesn't run away because of the noise. Access has been denied, so he withdraws. That's what's going on around your family. You might have noticed that certain emotion triggers don't have the same impact on you anymore. Talks that used to wear you down now end faster. Things that used to trigger anxiety now seem far away. This is not because you no longer care. It's because you stopped carrying something that wasn't yours to carry. In a way, emotional growth is like spiritual warfare, and you are naturally moving into it. Your discernment is also at rest in heaven. Being open and honest without becoming cold or guarded is something you are learning. Only when you trust in God's protection can you find this balance, which is rare. Archangel Michael watches out that discernment doesn't lead to being alone. You still have an open heart, but now you are also careful. In your reaction to stress, there is a subtle rewiring taking place. You don't react right away. Instead, you pause. That pause is holy. Angels move through that area. The power of stillness is greater than the power of urgency and decisions. The power of calm obedience should not be underestimated. Some family relationships may start to change without any direct arguments. Things will change. Expectations will change. This is because natural order is affected by spiritual alignment. When one person tells the truth, the system has to react. You're not making people change. You're letting the truth live. You might also feel called to get back to basic spiritual practices like prayer, gratitude, and reflection. These aren't small things. They function as stabilizers. To maintain significant transitions, heaven frequently uses simplicity. It's important not to forget how powerful consistency can be in small things. In addition to your actions, Archangel Michael is attentive to your thoughts. Even though doubts may still come up, they don't stay put. They go through and then leave. This is progress. Growth doesn't mean that there is no doubt. It means that doubt is no longer the way. Faith is now in charge. At last, there is protection over your rest. You will sleep better. Dreams might get better or less scary. This is not a mistake. When the body finally feels safe, it often starts to heal. It looks like your nervous system is catching up to your spiritual reality. You're safe. You'll be okay. You are being watched. Do not feel rushed to tell other people about your growth. Let the fruits do the talking. As your testimony, let peace be. Let consistency answer the questions that words alone can't. Your reputation is just as important to Archangel Michael as your heart. People who don't understand something now will understand it later. If you feel alone sometimes, don't think something is wrong. Separation often comes before elevation. God sometimes makes it quiet so he can talk without being interrupted. You are not being taken away from people. You're getting closer to your purpose. Observe how your intuition is getting firmer while also becoming softer. You don't have to prove what you feel anymore. You just know. Spiritual maturity is demonstrated here. This is trust that comes from real life, not from theory. As this phase goes on, keep in mind that obedience doesn't mean being perfect. Availability is required. You were there. That's right. You didn't close. That alone changed things that could have turned out very differently. When you answer like that, heaven takes note. What is being built now will help you in the long run. Not a temporary covering this is. This one will last. Someone chose awareness over avoidance, which is stabilizing the future of your family. You are that person. Stay steady. Stay humble. Continue to be attentive. Everything that comes after will be built on top of the foundation that was already there. That which is happening now is quieter on the outside, but more important to me in my spirit. At this point, heaven starts to teach you how to live under its protection, not just go there. You were first warned, and then you were calmed down. Right now you are learning how to stay anchored no matter what. A lot of people miss the lesson here, but you are being carefully led through it. Although Archangel Michael is still present, his work now appears different. He is not in the spotlight. Instead, he is working to improve things behind the scenes. At this point, strength comes from inside instead of outside. You might not feel big changes anymore, and that's on purpose. Stability is settled. It does not make an announcement. You are learning that peace is not the lack of issues, but the lack of fear that comes with them. Even though your family may still face situations that require wisdom, they will no longer shake you to the core. There is no reaction from you. You are responding. You are not guessing. You are listening. This internal attitude is what keeps spirit doors sealed against chaos. Your ability to trust is undergoing refinement. At first, trust was scary because you weren't sure if protection would last. Because you have seen evidence, Trust now feels natural. God has shown himself in a quiet, consistent, and personal way. You can't teach this kind of trust. It is something you get by doing things. Keep in mind that old patterns may try to come back for a short time, not because they have power, but because they have never been denied access before. When something no longer has permission, it often tests the boundaries one last time. This is not the same as going backwards. This is confirmation that the boundary is effective. You might not feel the need to explain yourself as much to family members who used to question your choices. It will feel better to be quiet than to explain things. This is progress. When someone's identity is safe, they don't have to explain themselves. Archangel Michael watches over both what you say and what you don't say. Your emotional strength is being kept up. You will now notice that stress doesn't bother you as much. You can't play conversations over and over again. You don't feel like you have to clear up every misunderstanding anymore. This emotional stamina is a smart move. The stewardship of your inner world is something God is teaching you. More than that, there is an invitation to forgive. Not forgiveness that is forced, but forgiveness that is based on understanding. With more clarity has come more compassion. You don't have to explain the effects of fear on other people's choices. The healing is balanced. The freedom it gives you doesn't hurt you again. You are also getting ready to take on more responsibility. Not always with your family, but with your purpose. Most of the time, when God makes your foundation strong, it's because something bigger will rest on it. Do not think of this as pressure. It is preparation. You will not be given anything that you are not able to handle. Pay attention to how your prayers are changing. It's getting easier, more direct, less emotional, and people trust them more. Intimacy this is. God doesn't expect us to do anything. Honesty gets a response. This is how you learn to talk to him like you know he is listening. In this stage, rest remains crucial. Peace is not the same thing as inaction. Now, obedience includes rest. Discernment remains sharp when the body is at rest. If you keep your mind calm, you can easily gain wisdom. Without feeling guilty, you are free to pause. In some moments, you may feel quiet gratitude as you think about how far you have come. Let your gratitude keep you grounded. It serves as a reminder that protection was in place even when you were unaware of it. A lot of outcomes were changed without your help. You are no longer on the edge of something new. You are living inside it. This new normal might feel strange at first, but it's good for you. It can be strange to feel stable after a time of chaos. Give yourself permission to change without being concerned. Remember that consistency is more important than intensity as this part of the journey settles in. There's no need for big faith. You need faith that lasts. Show up every day. Pay attention. Stay open. That's enough. What you are building inside you right now can't be easily shaken. You are not only safe in times of trouble. On normal days, you are safe, and that's where lasting peace is made. In this truth, remain grounded. The foundation stays put. You are exactly where you need to be, and the covering remains. As this message goes on, beloved child, know that you have entered a time of discernment and endurance. This isn't about getting quick wins anymore. This is about long-term peace. Heaven is showing you how to stay in line even when things get back to normal. Only in times of extreme urgency do many people turn to God. But you're learning to walk with Him with consistency, and that's where real strength is built. Archangel Michael is still watching over this phase, not as a sudden rescuer, but as a leader making sure everything stays in order. Order needs to be protected when chaos is no longer in charge. In this case, you may feel a stronger urge to guard your time, energy, and attention. Old distractions that didn't seem dangerous now feel heavy. No, this is not a restriction. We call this refinement. Your inner stability affects how your family treats you. Your grounded presence is affecting conversations, decisions, and emotion tone, even if other people are unaware of it. There are times when spiritual authority doesn't speak up. Being present can sometimes just change the mood of the room. You are effortlessly becoming that force that keeps things stable. You might notice that you aren't as interested in drama, emotions, or making your point. This doesn't mean you're no longer interested. It means that you are safe now. External validation loses its hold once identity is settled. This level of maturity makes Archangel Michael happy because it means protection will last. At the same time, your spiritual intuition is getting stronger. This is making it easier for you to tell what to do and what to avoid. This discernment doesn't judge, it keeps you safe. God is teaching you that not everything needs your attention, even if it sounds like it does. Not a surprise if some people start to ask you for help more often. Peace makes people wonder. Trust is drawn to stability. Be careful not to take on too much. You are not meant to be the anchor for everyone. When asked, share your wisdom, but keep your own boundaries at the root. Heaven cares about balance. It's on purpose for this phase to feel less emotional than the ones that came before it. You had to be awakened with emotional intensity. Now you need to stay calm to stay alive. Most of the time, growth is quieter than breakthrough. Avoid confusing calm with stagnation. Your prayers are now changing what will happen before it happens fully. You can see the fruit of alignment here. Your prayers have clarity when your inner world is in order. Your prayers are no longer based on fear. They are based on trust. Everything changes. Take a moment to support what is speaking to you as you keep watching this message play out. This word is marked because you liked this video. Now, my beloved, I want you to share this message one more time, but this time with all of your heart, not just your network. Click share and send it to people who also need to know that their cycle is ending. Sharing this word with someone takes you and heaven together to save them from confusion. Sharing increases the anointing in your own life, setting off a breakthrough chain reaction that comes back to you pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Send the message. Share it now to start the breakthrough. Send it to someone who might need stability right now, and leave a comment to say that you are receiving this time of peace. Sign up for the membership and subscribe to the channel if you feel led to do so. Staying connected keeps you in tune with what heaven is consistently releasing. There is also a reminder to keep an open mind. Belief doesn't take the place of humility. In fact, humility is the root of true confidence. Being open makes you strong. Because you stay aware, you are safe. Don't think you've arrived. Always be ready to hear what others have to say. Now, Archangel Michael is making sure that what has been corrected doesn't revert to its previous state. This is not warfare, it's maintenance. Awareness, not anxiety, is what maintenance calls for. You don't have to constantly look out for danger. All you have to do is stay present. Pay close attention to how this new rhythm makes your body feel. You could feel calmer, rested, and more stable. Your nervous system is now in sync with your spiritual reality. Instead of being the exception, Safety is becoming the default. There may still be moments of doubt, but they will no longer linger. There will be doubt, but it won't last. Faith now speaks up faster than fear. You should respect this progress. Before you leave this moment, please stay with me for a little longer. What comes next will make everything you have felt even clearer. As this message goes on, beloved, heaven is now telling you what the stability you are feeling means. Peace didn't come to pause your journey. It was given to get you ready for clarity. It's easier to see the truth when all the noise stops. You are now in a stage where understanding is being added to you slowly, so that it doesn't overwhelm you. Although he plays a minor role in this, Archangel Michael remains attentive. To keep discernment from turning into overthinking, he is watching out. People lose their peace not because danger comes back, but because they start to think about things that don't need to be thought about anymore. Trusting what has already been settled is something you are being taught. It's because it no longer has permission that something isn't stirring your spirit. There is an alignment going on inside you between your mind and spirit. They may have felt slightly out of sync in the past, with thoughts racing while your spirit stayed calm, or emotions reacting while your intuition warned you. So far, they've learned how to move together. Without force or fear, this alignment produces awareness and confidence. You might have noticed that the way you think about your family has changed, but you also feel more sorry for them when you see them more clearly. Resentment has been replaced with understanding. Guilt has been replaced with boundaries. It doesn't mean that everything is fine. It means you understand your role better now. It's just you and the present moment. You are also learning from heaven how to delegate responsibility for other people's development. At first, this might feel weird, especially if you're used to stepping in or making things better. Moving back is not the same as giving up, though. It's an honor. Take time to honor their journey and your own limits. Archangel Michael is watching out for someone taking false responsibility for you. You are not responsible for things that happened that you did not cause. You do not have to carry emotional weight that was never put on you. A part of your protection is this release. Too much weight impairs discernment. Clarity is restored by lightness at rest. You might quietly feel a new level of confidence rising. It's not very loud. It doesn't want to be approved of. It just knows the place where it stands. Experience, not theory, is the root of this confidence. You know what takes place when you pay attention. Peace has replaced pressure, as you can see. It is not possible to take that evidence from you. There may be times when you feel a little light-hearted about previous worries. This detachment is not cold. It is a healing distance. There are times when God makes room for love to grow again. Being close without putting pressure on a relationship lets it breathe. Take note of how your actions have changed. You answer more slowly, but smarter. You talk less, but you mean what you say. You listen more, but you take in less bad stuff. These are signs that you're grown up. No longer are you taking in everything around you. It is being filtered by you. Your trust in God's timing is also growing stronger. You are learning that not all problems require immediate resolution. When you stop interfering, some things naturally happen. This is getting easier because anxiety isn't as strong. You can't hurry this kind of growth. Archangel Michael makes sure that impatience doesn't become a false sense of urgency. Real urgency makes you feel calm and focused. False urgency makes you feel tense and rushed. You are getting better at telling them apart. You will be able to use this skill after this season is over. Your inner dialogue is also changing. We used to question our own abilities, but now we are sure of them. There is now curiosity where once there was doubt. Now you ask, what is God showing me here? Instead of, what if something goes wrong? That change makes all the difference. There may be a quiet stirring of a new sense of purpose, not a loud calling, but a soft pull toward meaning. This purpose is connected to your peace. It gets bigger from there. Destiny is not constructed on chaos, according to God. On stability, He bases it. Take some time to enjoy this phase before moving on to the next challenge. A pause between storms is not peace. You were meant to live in that state. It will keep you grounded when problems come up, not shake you up. As you get used to this part, keep in mind that clarity doesn't always mean answers. There are times when acceptance leads to clarity. You can trust what has already been shown without having to fully understand it. There is protection. You are moving forward even when it seems quiet because alignment is going on all the time. In this stillness, be present. It's not empty. It has a lot of direction. Beloved child, now is the time when heaven wants you to fully understand how far you have come. When you prayed quietly, maybe you didn't even realize it, for what you're standing in now. Stability, clarity, and peace that doesn't go away when things change. This did not just show up by chance. There was obedience, listening, and restraint that got it there. Still present is Archangel Michael. However, his presence now feels more like confirmation of authority than protection from harm. You are no longer being watched because you are fragile, but rather because you have been given trust at this point. When you get stronger, heaven doesn't take away its protection. You can carry more without losing your balance because it makes it stronger. You might notice that the people around you are acting differently toward you. Some people feel calmer when you're around. Others may feel a little light-hearted without knowing why. It's not because you changed who you were. It's because truth makes things different. People will be able to see your old patterns more clearly when you stop doing them. Integration is the theme of this phase. Everything you've learned is becoming part of your everyday life. You're no longer trying to be spiritually aware. You just are. It is now normal to be discerning. Peace is now what I expect. Because you trust your covering, you don't look for threats anymore. A deeper level of honesty is also growing inside you. You're not arguing with yourself about what you know is wrong anymore. You don't freak out when you notice that something doesn't seem right. You act without overthinking when something feels right. With simplicity, you can keep this gift of clarity safe. Archangel Michael is helping you release the need to control the results. A survival tool in the past was control. We no longer need to do it. Trust has taken its place. God can move more freely when you stop trying to impose resolution. Giving up is not a sign of weakness. Confidence in divine order. Also, you might feel a sudden rise in gratitude. Not a show of gratitude, but quiet appreciation. Thanks for the rest, the clarity, and the safety. Your nervous system recognizes stability, as evidenced by your gratitude. This goes beyond just healing the emotions. Mind not to rush through this part. A lot of people leave peace too quickly because they aren't used to it. Take a break. Let it become the way things are now. You are not ready for anything to happen. There was already something there. The result of answered prayer is that you are living. It also gives you more spiritual authority in your voice. Your words now have weight, even if they are few. There's no sense of urgency in what you say. It comes from alignment. Archangel Michael watches over your words and makes sure they get where they need to go. If this message has been confirming what you already knew, pay attention to it. Say what you are getting in a comment, like this video, and share it with someone who might be on the edge of clarity. This is not a one-time word, so subscribe to the channel and stay in touch. We are seeing this unfold. Take care as you receive this activation. Add "I walk in divine order" to the comments. Blessing code 2089 is now being released over your household if this message has helped your spirit. Let people know that you agree. Type Amen one more time if you feel a new sense of confidence rising inside you and are ready to trust the stillness and walk in that calm authority. Let this Amen serve as a seal over your new season, a confirmation that you are not the same person you were before, and that you are now fully embracing who God has called you to be. And pay attention to this as the Spirit talks to you. People keep hearing this word because someone responds when heaven moves their heart. It doesn't come back empty when seed is sown into good ground, says the Lord. When I call you into this moment, it's not to help a channel, but to carry light. As this awakening grows inside you, know that helping with this mission is not a joke. It is a sign from God. You can support this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our Ko-fi community. By doing so, you become part of Jesus' plan to save souls who are still stuck in fog. Every seed turns into light that fights against darkness. If you water others, you will be watered yourself, Jesus says. This is not history. It is a living promise about your future. Come into this moment with faith and a plan. What God has already planned for your life can be unlocked through your giving. As this message goes on, beloved, heaven is now asking you to take stewardship of what you have been given. Peace, clarity, and protection are not just gifts to enjoy. It is their job to watch out for them. At this point, stability needs to be kept on purpose, not out of worry, but out of faith. God not only sets things up, but also teaches you how to keep them. Archangel Michael remains attentive. His attention is now on preservation, though. Better yet, preservation is quieter than breakthrough. Still, it's just as powerful. To keep things in order after a victory is easier than to win the battle. Being in victory doesn't mean you have to be careless. This level of awareness shows that you are an adult. You might notice that subtle urges to go back to old habits emerge. Not big, crazy chaos, but little chances to worry, think too much, and take responsibility for things that aren't yours. It's not an attack. They test your habits. Heaven is letting you choose your new position on purpose. Your ability to make decisions is getting stronger. No longer are guilt or a sense of urgency driving you. The way you choose is based on alignment. You shouldn't force something that doesn't feel right. You don't second-guess yourself when something feels clear. That being firm is not harsh. There is peace. Your family environment continues to change because you are stable. There are changes in the energy, even when nothing is said out loud. Arguments never have the power to change things. You are witnessing how inner order changes the dynamics of the outside world without any conflict. This is moving wisdom. Archangel. Another thing Michael is watching out for is spiritual fatigue. Doing too much doesn't always make you tired. It can happen when you hold on to something that you should have released. This is a reminder for you to check in with yourself often. Do not skip the rest. That's what obedience means. Now, there is also a call to joy in this phase. Not loud partying, but real enjoyment of small things. Peace shouldn't just be kept safe, it should be enjoyed. Allow yourself to laugh, unwind, and stay in the present without scanning for issues. Heaven isn't telling you to stay alert out of fear. Heaven wants you to trust and stay aware. You might value boundaries more than before. These lines are no longer walls that you can hide behind. They're like filters that keep important things safe. You can say yes to important things when you say no to other things. This clarity gives you freedom. Your spiritual sensitivity remains, but it isn't as bad as it used to be. You are sensing without absorbing and observing without taking it all in. You can stay kind without getting too heavy because of this balance. Archangel Michael guards against emotional entanglement as empathy develops. There may be times when you think back to earlier seasons and remember how heavy they were. Do not judge the person you were in the past. With the awareness it had, that version of you did the best it could. Respect the journey. The past is still there even after growth. It makes it right. You're also getting better at trusting silence. Not every situation calls for prayerful effort. Resting is a way to show trust sometimes. You feel safe in silence now that you know you're safe. Evidence of healing is that security. It may not seem as dramatic as the last phase, but it is still very important. Foundations are quietly made stronger. Roots grow in the ground. What's going on now will help with responsibilities that haven't come up yet. Archangel. You shouldn't mistake peace for complacency, Michael is telling you. You stay aware but not tense, awake but not worried. This balance keeps you in line without making you tired. Pay attention to what you say to yourself. It sounds like you're being nicer to yourself. You don't say as much and aren't in a hurry. Everything else is affected by this change inside. The intensity of external problems decreases when your inner environment is in order. You may also feel that your faith is stronger, less emotional, and more grounded. You trust without constant reassurance. This trust isn't blind. It comes from having experience. You know what takes place when you pay attention. Stay the same as you go through this phase. What intensity starts, consistency keeps going. You don't have to try. Be present is all you have to do. It is not fragile what God has established. It's strong. The message goes on. The preparation for what follows is this. Do not give up. What is about to be revealed will tie everything you've learned together into something even more purposeful. You have reached a moment of recognition, beloved soul. Self-recognition, not recognition from other people. You can see that the stability you live in now wasn't an accident, and effort alone was not the only factor. It had to do with alignment. Heaven teaches you how to remain aware without becoming watchful, and how to maintain faith without becoming rigid at this stage. As the overseer of continuity, Archangel Michael is present. His job is to make sure that what has been set up doesn't get weaker over time because of familiarity. Sometimes forgetfulness, not chaos, poses the greatest threat. Getting lost in how far you've come, getting rid of the cost, forgetting what listening did for them. It's time to remind you so you don't get off track. This ability of discernment is now second nature to you. No longer do you think about or question every feeling or instinct. You trust the stillness inside you to lead you. This trust isn't careless. It has been told. There is evidence for it. When it was important, you paid attention and you saw the result. You are now anchored by that memory. There might be a small pull to return to old emotional roles. Not because they have to be done, but because they are comfortable. It's possible for familiarity to look like responsibility. Keep an open mind. You shouldn't change into the person you used to be just to make other people happy. It's okay for growth to change the way things work. Archangel, there is a chance that Michael is protecting you from emotional regression. You will notice that your response is different when things happen that remind you of the past. You don't use the same tense. You don't have to fix right away. You take a breath, pause, and make a choice. That pause gives you power. The way your family works may continue to change. Some people will be able to adjust quickly. It will take time for others. Do not think of resistance as delayed adjustment. Everybody grows at their own speed. It's not your job to speed other people up. It's to keep yourself in line. There is also a boost in your inner authority. To trust what you sense, you no longer need confirmation from other people. Even though you no longer rely on counsel, you still value it. This balance helps you stay grounded without making you feel alone. You are also being reminded by heaven that you need to care for peace. Not effort, but awareness keeps it going. Pay attention to what drains you and what restores you. Make the right choice. Taking care of peace is an ongoing task. Do something with this message right now if it has been guiding you and showing you how you've grown. Please like this video so that this message keeps getting to people who need stability. Give it to someone who might be trying to learn how to keep the peace. Write in the comments what this season means to you. When truth is unfolding over time, consistency is important. So subscribe to the channel and stay connected. This pledge should be an act of covenant. When you click that button and turn on notifications, you're saying that you'll stay strong during this season of alignment. In other words, you are telling heaven, I will not drift. I will stay in place under the prophetic covering. This straightforward action will seal your connection to the promises God is making over your household, ensuring that you stay in tune as He unfolds the next parts of your purpose. The way you go through life gives you a quiet confidence. You're not in such a hurry or a state of reaction now. You're more deliberate. This confidence is based on security, not arrogance. Knowing you're not walking alone is the root of security. Archangel Michael is also making sure you don't get patience and passivity mixed up. You're not disengaged, but you are patient, but you're not tense. When you have this balance, you can act without fear when you need to. You might notice that your spiritual sensitivity has improved. You are no longer scared by what you feel. The right way for you to understand, interpret, and release it is to do so. Avoid burnout with this refinement. People also trust God's timing more than they did before. No longer is urgency a way to measure progress. The way you measure it is by alignment. The way you think about delays, conversations, and results changes because of this change. It feels like everything has a purpose and is less personal. Your inner dialogue keeps getting better. There is no pressure or criticism when you talk to yourself. Instead, you use patience and clarity. Everything else in your life is supported by this environment inside of you. Having peace inside leads to order outside. Stay attentive, don't worry or be watchful. Just be present as this part calms down. The following won't require any effort. It will take recognition, and that recognition will make everything clear in a way you didn't expect. Please wait a little longer. What remains will seal what has already been established, and the message is nearing its completion. What remains, dear child, is confirmation, not instruction. It has been awareness, correction, stabilization, and stewardship that you have walked through. This last part before completion is all about sealing. Heaven seals what it sets up so that time, distraction, or doubt can't take it away. Right now is sealing season. In this moment, Archangel Michael is firm and settled. He is not alert, defensive, or reactive. This is very important information. We don't have an emergency. Not a single hidden threat is coming. The issues raised have been thoroughly addressed. The root cause of the problem has been corrected. Now heaven makes sure of it. A deep sense of enough may be rising inside you. There is enough peace, enough understanding, and enough clarity to stop looking for answers. Complacency doesn't exist here. This means that completion is getting close. God doesn't leave you with less rest when He completes a task. He leaves you anchored. A quiet authority that doesn't seek expression is also settling into your spirit. That time is over when you have to defend your journey, your growth, or your boundaries. Things that are real don't need ads. Reinforcement is not required for sealed items. There is more going on with your family line than you can see. Spiritual alignment has already changed, even if changes in behavior are minor. The same energy is no longer being used to feed unconscious patterns. This is how cycles come to an end quietly, by blocking access rather than engaging in conflict. You might have noticed that some memories don't seem to have the same emotional charge anymore. They have a neutral, observing mood. Instead of numbness, this state of neutrality is healing, completion. A memory loses emotion weight when it loses authority over your present. You are being protected from nostalgia by Archangel Michael as well. The mind sometimes goes back to healthy times in the past, just because they are familiar. From romanticizing what God has already closed, you are being prevented. Being thankful honors the past. Attachment opens it again. You are being shown the way to gratitude, not attachment. Your intuition now works without a sense of urgency. You understand, accept, and move on. Not having to act right away is not pressure. Fear of missing something is absent. This is trust that has grown up. You trust that clarity will come if something needs action. During times of stillness, it may feel like it's too quiet. Do not fill them up quickly. Evidence that nothing is currently requiring your attention is this stillness. There is no such thing as emptiness in stillness. It is rest after order. On top of that, you are learning that obedience doesn't always look like it's busy. Sometimes obedience looks like not interfering, not revisiting, not getting involved again, and not praying too much about something God has already resolved. People you trust know when to shut up. Your discernment won't go backwards, says Archangel Michael. Decisions that were made with clarity should not be reviewed. Peace is your confirmation. The choice was right if peace stayed. You now live in a more predictable emotional world. You feel grounded, not because life is controlled, but because your inner responses are stable. Stability is indicated by predictable emotion. Now you don't go back and forth between extremes. Staying centered is important. A sense of spiritual confidence grows that doesn't feel spiritual at all. It seems useful, grounded, and a part of everyday life. At this point, this is the most stable kind of faith. Faith that has developed into lived experience and doesn't need constant reinforcement. You might have the impression that something is concluding but not coming to an end. There's no loss here. This is only a transition from process to permanence. Temporary is dissolving. The structure remains. Archangel Michael is here to witness this seal. There is no longer any legal access to anything from the past. Nothing remains unresolved. Keeps power through secrecy, but nothing hidden. Light has done its job. Take a moment to rest in this present moment without any expectations. You're not ready for the next lesson yet. The result of the previous one is where you are right now. Stay still, stay grounded. There is one more movement that remains, and it will only require reception, not effort. Receive this final word as a seal, not as a warning, my beloved child. What began with urgency in heaven has now come to completion in peace. This isn't an ending that shuts the door, but a completion that locks it down so nothing from the past can come back. On settled ground, you are standing. Archangel, in this message, Michael is present one final time to witness what has been finished, not to keep you safe. He is in charge of confirmation here. Nothing further needs to be corrected when he stands in stillness. Order has been restored, authority has been secured, and alignment has been achieved. You might be experiencing a quiet confidence right now that doesn't require reassurance. This confidence doesn't require signs or constant reassurance. It just knows. That level of spiritual maturity is shown by knowing that. You trusted when it was important. When it would have been easier to ignore, you listened. Things changed in ways you might never fully understand. There are more changes in your family tree than you think. Patterns that would have repeated unconsciously were altered by the choices you made in awareness. Legacy is altered in this way, through discernment and obedience rather than force. You were in the right place at the right time, and you acted. Take note of how your spirit feels lighter and not empty. Feels lighter without being careless. This balance was meant to be there. God doesn't take away weight without giving us stability in its place. There's nothing missing. Everything about you is complete. There's no more scanning. Don't wait for the other shoe to drop any longer. No need to worry about whether the peace will last. It's not fragile to have this peace. The place is fortified, tested, refined, and sealed. Stewardship rather than vigilance is what remains today. This seal cannot be broken by emotion, distraction, or outside pressure, according to Archangel Michael. No longer does anything need your reaction. There's nothing that needs your defense. Without effort, what is yours will stay. After reading this message, you might feel a profound internal quiet. Take a break. It's not uncertainty that this is quiet. It's resolution. When heaven is done with a task, it leaves behind silence rather than confusion. Currently, your intuition is calibrated. You will quickly and without fear be able to spot misalignment. With no guilt, you will be able to step away. Not this kind of detachment. This is clarity living in your body happily. A release of permission over you is also felt. The freedom to live fully. Permission to experience joy and peace without needing permission. Stop revisiting lessons that have already been learned. By moving forward, you are not giving up wisdom, you're honoring it. This message was never intended to instill dependence. Thus, you could walk freely because it was meant to awaken discernment. There's no longer a need for constant confirmation. At this point, you are your own witness. If this completion feels right to your spirit, type "I receive the seal" in the comments. Over you and your household, blessing code 3116 is now active. I want you to do one simple thing that has spiritual weight before you leave this holy moment. You are not only engaging with content when you like this video, you are also setting off a marker in heaven. You're telling God, I agree with this word, and I want His blessing to come into my life. This like is a digital seed that tells the angels sent to your household that you agree with the protection being released. Make your thumbprint on this video a sign of your faith. This will let God's blessings flow into your life right now. Take a moment to make up your mind before you answer this last call. Declare it if you feel that deep internal quiet of resolution and are standing on this settled ground. It is finished in my favor. Write in the comments. As your witness, use these words. There's no need to wait for the other shoe to drop. The result of answered prayer is that you are living. Your peace is sealed by this act. As it naturally flows from this completion, hear this final call now. This message got to you because someone did what heaven told them to do. In order for others to be brought into safety, God says that once a work is sealed, it must be maintained. I'm talking to you right now. Respond as an act of obedience if this word kept your peace, made your way clear, or kept your family safe. Please know that every seed you plant in this mission will grow into a torch that shines in someone else's darkness. Giving to this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our Ko-fi community, does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. Heaven moves through willing voices, but it grows through hearts that are kind. This is what I say over you now. Each gift you give is like a stream of living water that flows into the life of someone who needs healing. Give, and it will be given to you, is not just a verse for Jesus. It is a living promise that shapes your future. Allow me to invite you now with a simple act of faith. Come into this moment with purpose, with honesty, and with hope. The money you give today is not a donation. The act of spiritual obedience that lets your heavens open is what opens them. Let go of your seed and see what God brings back into your life. Before we get to the end of this powerful story, let's take a moment to reflect on this deep truth. You did not find this message by accident. This is not a stroke of luck. It is a direct message from Archangel Michael to you. He's extending his hand and inviting you into a protected, high-vibrational community where divine abundance is not just a hope, but a promise. This sacred principle is very simple, but it can change your whole life. If you follow it, you won't just receive blessings, they will be multiplied and flow into every part of your life. By accepting this invitation right now, you are unlocking immediate, early access to powerful content and divine insights that are hidden from the general world. Now is your chance to enter a sacred space where you will receive spiritual guidance, unwavering support, and speedy progress toward your destiny. Do not let this sacred moment of destiny pass you by. Your breakthrough is waiting. Join Archangel Michael's inner circle immediately through the exclusive link in the description. This is how you guarantee you never miss the direct, personalized messages that are specifically meant to elevate and empower your life. If you desire to deepen your connection, the link is waiting for you in both the pinned comment and the description. And for those who feel called to amplify this work, a link to purchase the guided ebook is available, which is completely optional. But your presence, attention, and energy already mean the world. Take the step. Your abundance awaits.